Yo, what's up, boys and girls? DJ Madam AD checking in. Another tutorial. This is part 2 of that number 1 B-boy future house track that I started working on. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, and leave your comments on the section below. Real quick, I want to do a shameless plug on my digital label where you can check out all my original production on TrackSource, on Beatport, and iTunes, and all that stuff. It's right here. You could go to tracksource.com and just search for Digital Wax, and you will see all my work. I got a lot of stuff in here. It's like you could see the minute it loads up. Oops, it's gonna play. Where's it at? I got a lot of cool stuff here. So, you know, from techno to electro to house to whatever. But the point is, if you can, just go over here, come over here and show some love to yours truly, DJ Madam AD, if you like the work. Most importantly, always remember that these tutorials are not truly about the music. They're really more about, you know, techniques and you know, how I go about producing and stuff like that. And with that being said, let's continue with what we got to do over here. So let's move this out the way to my second screen. This is the Vengeance VSP scope, if you guys don't know. It's a really cool scope. I spoke about this in my previous tutorials, which you can check on my channel. Just make sure to follow the channel. So we left off right here, number 1 B-boy. So basically, let's continue on. So I grouped everything into one folder, and let's extend this track because there's not too much left to do. So vocals and then back vocals. Basically, we're working on an outro right now. This is gonna be the final outro right here. Mute the leads. trying to figure out how I'm gonna end the whole song, so I'm just playing around with it. Let's take out this machine right here, so we can free up some space, some CPU power. Save. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. I gotta add that to some of these parts.
Boy, number one D-boy, number one boy, number one D-boy, number one D-boy, D-boy,
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Number one D-boy, number one. E-boy, Eve number one. Boy, one D-boy, number one. Boy, number one. Number one D-boy, number one. D-boy, number one. Number one D-boy, 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 number one D-boy.
Still arranging and fixing stuff.
Eve number one. E-boy. 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 Eve number one. E-boy. 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 Eve number one. Eve number one. Eve number one.
I think I'm gonna do a mono delay there. So let's open the editor. I actually have one there, but I'm gonna create another one. This one's gonna be a long one. Mono delay right there. 1/4. A long feedback. I think that should work.
Eve number one.
Freaking spam on Facebook. All right, so let's turn on the automation on that.
Eve number one. Eve number one.
Okay, let's move this to the side. And let's work with that automation right there.
Eve number one. Eve number one. Eve number one. Eve number one.
Bring it a little bit closer.
Eve number one. Eve number one.
All right, so notice that the volume it's going all over the place when the delay comes in. So what I'm gonna have to do is I am going to send this to a group channel or sub or auxiliary track, however you want to call it. So where is it? Vocal. What am I doing here? Target. There you go. I'm setting it to the vocal sub. And then I am also going to... Let me just bring this window over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Need to see the effects. Where are they? Oops. Racks. Nope. Right here. Not rewire effects. Okay, they're already there. Where are they? Oh, here you go. So this one, this is the mono delay that I just created. So I'm gonna send that one to vocals as well. Effects zone. Boom. That's why I wasn't seeing them. All right, so it doesn't matter. I could just close that. There you go. It's out the way. And so now everything's being sent over here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a compressor to that. So when the delay comes in, it will, be kind of controlled. Right now it's all over the place, so it has to be a big control. So you see the gain reduction popping in when the delay jumps in, and that way glues everything up, and it doesn't sound like the way it sounded before, which it was all over the place. And last but not least, let me open that again because I want to take out some of the lows. I want to last a little bit longer. There you go, much better. So now I can apply that effect again towards the end over here. This thing right here, I am going to bounce this to its own track so it could be audio, so I can manipulate it a little better. And that didn't work like that. Undo. Because I have to, there you go. That should do it now. Okay, I don't see anything there, but let me see. Okay, why am I not seeing anything here? Something went wrong. Okay, let's try it again. Why is it doing that? Pissing me off. Supposed to record the whole thing from there to let's do this again. There you go, I see it now. Actually, I don't. Actually, this is kind of pissing me off right now. So, I don't know why it's doing that. I'm just gonna leave it, digital, whatever. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if it needs it or not. Leave your comments below and let me know if you actually think that part is needed. So right now, it's kind of annoying me, to be honest. I just felt like the leads needed a little more presence in that frequency. Let's compress the percussion. Give it some not saturation, tube compression, some distortion. You could tell it just adds that grittiness to it. It sounds pretty cool. Put it before the compression. Sounds more together. I'm gonna put a compressor on the leads as well. I'm gonna put some tube distortion on it as well. See how that will sound. Doesn't really do much to it. I mean, the sound itself already has that grittiness, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. So on the master channel, we're going to set this. Okay, let's add a fat filter Q2. You keep this over here so I can see what's going on. I feel like it needs more presence on the 80 hertz. Before I do that, let's load up this preset right here, which is cut low sides. There you go, that looks good. And let's open one up and put it on 80. Actually, let's put it on 85. That sounds better. And it's on side, so we're gonna change side to full. And it's on low shelf right now. We don't want low shelf. We want not high shelf either. Notch. No. Bell. What the hell? There you go. That's the frequency I want. Let's go on the 1000K. And cut that up a bit. We're gonna come here and bump this up. Just very minor changes when you're doing EQ. And remember, I'm not the best on mastering or EQing and whatever, but I do know a little bit about it, and I'm always constantly learning and trying to learn and look for information. But I do know that when on the mastering stages, everything has to be very, very little. You can't just go crazy and try to. I mean, if it needs to, you could go and reshape the whole thing, but just very subtle changes all you got to do, and just to clean things up. And that's what I'm doing right now. It's kind of like, for every bump you kind of have to go back up. That's something like that is kind of how it works. And then of course the 4000K. It's a very 400. 4,000. If you guys don't know what that is, that's that frequency that basically blow your ears apart. This right here. That frequency right there in the nightclubs when it's extremely loud. Actually, it doesn't even have to be that loud. That frequency in general, doesn't matter how loud your volume is. If you're overpowering that frequency, it's going to make the listener kind of twitch a bit, and they're not gonna know exactly what's wrong with it, but they're gonna say there's something that bothers me about the track, and that is that frequency literally ripping your eardrums apart. So, holy crap! Sorry about that. Feedback from the mic. Before and after. All right, so what we're gonna do now, let's open up a Magic AB. This plugin is very useful. Oops. Presets. Yeah, Beatport Top 100. We're not doing that. We're doing kind of like tech house-ish type of stuff. So let's load up that. So basically what this is, it's a reference plugin. You have 9 slots and you could put in 9 songs. I spoke about this on my previous tutorials. If you guys don't know about it, you don't want to go back. This is 9 slots, 9 different songs where you can A and B from your track to their track. And it's really good to, instead of just adding a whole bunch of tracks in lanes, you could just have it like this. So I highly recommend this plugin, very useful. First thing I like to do is put them on the same volume, both of them. thing about this is you can actually minimize it, save real estate. And you have a really tiny right here, put in a little corner. We don't need this routing thing. I want to change this to all. Actually, I think what I need is an exciter. Which Waves has a really good one. There you go. This thing right here. It's really, really good. Let's go to mastering. Crispy. So before. Well, it just brings it up to life. Check. Yeah, it brings it up to life, and it brings the transients in, which it kind of not really the transients, more like that crisp. Now, understand this could definitely mess up your mix too. If you put too much of this stuff, it's definitely going to destroy your ears as well. Yeah, it definitely gives it that shininess that the other track has. The only thing the other track has is a bit more bass, and I think I want to add a little more bass to our mix. But the kick needs to fall back a bit as far as the low end. All right, and I want to add a compressor right after the exciter. Of course, let's use the SSL emulation. And we're going to do a tag has to be, 4, no, actually 10. Release has to be really fast. Yeah, that's the preset I already have for master bus. And let's start from down here. Okay. Let me try Tube right after that. See what that does. That makes it too muddy. Don't like it. Move these up. I do want to try a Fat Filter DS and put on transients. Where is it at? Mastering high-end transient limiting. Compare A and B. I'm gonna put an LFO on that. Not too much, just a tiny bit so it can have a little bounce. So you hear the bounce. Sounds pretty good. Okay, now I hear some muddiness on the leads. That needs to be taken out. That sounds way cleaner. It was just muddying up those frequencies. So 170. Okay. Let's compare again. Now I can bring that bass up a bit more. And I can bring that kick back up again. Just a tiny bit. Thing is that track that I'm referencing has the lead of the bass, the sub bass or the low bass, whatever you want to call it, the bass. It's playing a melody. I don't have a bass; it's playing a melody, so I kind of have to compensate on the energy of my kick to reference the lead bass that they have going on, and that's when I would know that I have a good mix. That's what I'm referencing right now. That sounds about very very close to what they got going on. The thing is that you're never going to find the I mean, you can find the perfect reference, but perfect meaning as close as it could possibly be. You're never going to find the exact characteristics of your song that you're creating, because no two songs are alike, because everybody's not using the same EQ settings, or even if you're using the same exact sound, it's still not going to sound the same, because even your machine, your computer is going to give it sounds or characteristics that the other person's machine is not going to give, or their DAW or whatever, and so on and so on. So you just gotta, try to stay in the standard volume levels, and you'll be all right. Trying to make the snare sound a little more warmer. See, I think it was just piercing a bit too much. Close that for now. Sounds very good. So remember, guys, in my opinion, usually, like right now, I don't have no master limiter or whatever. Notice I'm not even clipping, but I am. I do have a lot of master chain, a very big master chain. I only got one slot left, and that is for. In this case, I'm going to use the API by Waves. This bad boy right here, which I highly recommend. And I use this preset right here called Modern Mastering Glue, which is really good. I put it at 0. That's where I start at. And the good thing about this one is that it doesn't give you that pumping effect, and it's very transparent. So it's just freaking brick walls the crap out of your track, and it takes a long time until it starts distorting. So you could get your track very, very loud. I wish I could have the actual hardware of this, because obviously it will be much better, and eventually I will buy one. But as of right now, this does the job, and it does a really, really good job. So I highly recommend for you guys to try this one out. And again, what I was going to say earlier, as far as like the mastering process, notice that I'm I'm doing some mastering with the EQing and stuff like that. Later on, I am going to put this on linear phase, so it could be a smoother transition. The reason why I'm not doing that at this moment is because I'm actually using the DAW to monitor my voice. And if I were to turn that on, it's going to give me such an incredible delay that I'm going to hear myself like a half a second later, and it's going to drive me crazy. So that's why I'm doing it like this as we speak. And towards the end, I will do what I have to do, which is put on linear phase. But I am doing, a lot of surgical stuff here. And I'm leaving this bad boy for last, to crank it up all the way, because I don't want the loudness to whatchamacallit, I don't want the loudness of the track to kind of like confuse me from what needs to be fixed as far as balancing and frequencies, because once you put everything super loud, it's going to, sometimes it creates new problems and whatever. So you don't want to mix when it's being brick wall. You want to mix when you have headroom, and once you brick wall, it should give you a pretty good result. So let's continue on. Let's bring it back over here. So and I'm glad that I pulled out that rolled off that bass on the leads synths, because it was definitely getting the stuff very muddy. Excuse my lingo. So it now sounds much cleaner, and it has more space for the low end. I think I want to add a delay there. Sounded pretty cool. I think I'm gonna do it again over here. And this bass right here, we don't need it in plugin form, so let's bounce it into waves so I can have a little more control on it. There you go. It took a bit long because I have all that master chain already in there, so should did that a while back. Okay, I think I wanted to do a fade around here. And one here. I think that bass is a bit too loud. It's super loud. It's usually supposed to be about 2 dBs under the kick volume, the low end, and it's definitely too loud. Actually, it's right here. My bad. Needs a compressor too. I should try to do the bus compressing. I don't let it pass 4 dBs of reduction. It's a little faster attack. That looks better. I want to see this stuff right here. I don't know, it just looks pretty to me. Wish you could actually grab this and put it right here, so it could be right on top of the faders. It would make more sense, I would think. I don't know why they didn't give us that option. I know that if I were to turn off the inserts, see, you can't even, doesn't even do that. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, you could move it up here, but you still have that gap right in the middle. They should have gave us that option. Then again, Cubase 9 or 8.5 is coming soon, and they're gonna jack us for another $75. You know, it should be a little more customizable. That's all I'm saying. So let's open this up. Alright, so I like the whatever the word is, characteristics, however you pronounce it, of this track right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to see how loud this track is, and I'm gonna try to copy the same loudness and RMS and all that stuff. So let's bring that up. actually very loud. It's a very loud tech house track, so we're gonna try to duplicate that. And this is where the last step of the mastering comes into play, which is the API. Let's close this thing here. We don't need that right now. And we're gonna start pushing the volume until we get to our desired loudness, which in this meter is 5.9. Okay, so let's go. So now in this case, I know things is getting louder, so you might want to lower your volume. In this case, I'm noticing that the leads, the synth, are a bit too loud. They're coming through too hard, so I'm going to have to lower them down a bit as I'm pushing the gain on the track. Alright, so in this case, because my track is a bit different in the characters of it, I can't go that loud because it starts to distort, and there's more elements on my track as far as like the EQ spectrum compared to their track. Their track is more of a drummy type of track. Mine has musical elements like with the synths and vocals. There doesn't, so I can't go that loud, although I'm not sure if that's the correct loudness of this track, which it doesn't seem like it is. So I'm gonna pull back and I'll put it on 6. See where we at. So we're looking at an RMS of 8.0, which is not bad at all. I think it's very, very loud. That's just 7.7. Still very loud. I go hold back a bit more. What I'm seeing here, that peak, I need to change a bit, so I need to see if I can bring that down a bit. being occupied by the bass and the kick. See if I can bring it down a bit so it could balance some more. Now I'm gonna leave that alone because that's actually the body of the track, and if I start bringing that down, then I'm gonna lose the punch of the track. What I'm doing now, I'm panning stuff so I can add more of a stereo type of feel to things. Everything is a bit too center. You can hear it already that it's bouncing left and right now. I'm not gonna do that to the lower end, like the kick and the bass. Which in this case, on the kick, I'm gonna make it into mono by using this plugin called mono to stereo. So it could be right dead center. Really good, although it was already on mono, but I wanted to make sure so we won't get no extra fuss and stuff like that. The phasing is pretty good, so this track will definitely sound really good on mono, so very happy about that. I do want to add one last plugin right here, but I'm going to move these and put them right here, and just put them right here so I can have some space on the master. Push this up, and right before the limiter, I'm going to put this bad boy right here so I could just open up the mix a bit on the mid side. Sorry, yeah, the mid side. So I'm gonna make it a bit wider. I feel like it's missing a little wideness to it. Just by 2 dBs of gain, it adds so much. It makes the stereo filled up a little more, and it has more of a of a just wideness. Period. And I do want to add, on the percussion, I want to add a little bit of a reverb so it could glue everything up. Let's use this thing. I haven't used this one. I'm just trying to put the track in one room, and what I mean by putting it in one room, I mean you can't add too many different reverbs in your track, because reverbs, you really got to think about them as reverbs are meant to create a room ambience, meaning like you record it in a cave. So if you have one reverb that is a hall, but then you adding another reverb on your vocals that it's a church, then you know, how can you have a band and playing at the same time in 2 different rooms? It makes no sense. So you kind of have to make it all fit in the same room so it can sound about right. And when you playing it very, very loud, because reverbs is usually very noticeable when it's extremely loud. So that's the theory behind that, or at least that's what I think it is. Again, comments below and help me out if I'm doing something wrong. You're not truly going to be able to hear that on the mix, but it's definitely going to glue things up. Yeah, it definitely glues it up. All right, so now that I'm pretty happy as far as the mix, where we at. So and the mastering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the stuff that I don't need from here, which is that right there. This right here, for all Cubase users, UV22. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but basically this is for dithering. It does it for you. It's a plugin that actually does it on the chain instead of actually putting it on the actual bounce. The reason why you want to use this instead of the actual bounce is because this actually, you know, you tell it what it is that you're putting out, you know, 16-bit, 20 or 24. Unlike if you let the program do it automatically, sometimes it does it correctly, or sometimes it doesn't, or it does, or whatever. So it's better for you to have control over it and add this in UV22. It comes standard with Cubase, so very useful plugin to put on your last chain, your last output or whatever insert of the chain, I mean. And then this right here is just for me, just to see, because I think it's pretty and I can see what's going on. Gives you representation of the bass, the waves. And although we are very loud, but it's still giving you dynamics, which is extremely important on this type of music. This is definitely not EDM, so you know on EDM dynamics don't exist anymore. And some do, but most of them don't. But definitely on tech house and deep house and stuff like that, dynamics still exist. So just for sakes, there's one thing that I'm not using, which I should be using after the mid-side. It's a multi-band compressor. And I think the Cubase did a really good job on the stock one they have, although it has a horrible delay. That's why I sounded like I had Down syndrome a few seconds ago. But I'm gonna show you guys I'm gonna try it out real quick. I'm not gonna talk during this step because it has like about a second delay and it was making me nauseous, to be honest. So let's check it out. So now we're not gonna mess with that. It doesn't do anything for the mix. Sometimes certain things are just simply not needed. And I think we have a very, very good mix and a good master. I usually don't stop here. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put this in my MP3 player, go to my car, which it's a sound system that I know because I spend a lot of time in my car, and I'm gonna ride with it for a couple of days, and then I'm gonna stop listening to this track for a couple of days, and then I'm gonna come back to it with brand new fresh ears so I could catch the things that I'm missing because I'm so used to listening to the track. I mean, we've been working on this track for the past hour and 16 minutes. So I'm definitely need to rest my ears from this sound so I can hear it later and be able to fix the little things here and there. I'm pretty sure you guys caught a couple of things. Most of you guys are fast forwarding and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you'll be like, oh, I would have lowered this or that or whatever. Well, if you guys know about that, you also will understand what I'm saying, which is the whole process of letting your ears rest and then come back with a fresh ear and listen to the track so you could be able to catch things that you are not hearing at the moment. But overall, that's the process of me mixing and mastering. Oh, the last thing that I want to show you guys, make sure that the order of the strip and the inserts, I usually switch this around because I don't want the EQ to be last. I want the inserts to be last, which would be this. Although these last two slots are always last, doesn't matter which order it is, but regardless of what, I want all this stuff to be in front of the channel strip. That's why I switched it over here. And that's about it, guys. Please leave your comments, subscribe, like. I will extremely appreciate it if you do it. It's only going to take a second, not even a second, a millisecond of your life. And if you're watching this video, please do that for me. I will extremely appreciate it. And most importantly, it would encourage me to continue doing these types of videos. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to check me out on all the social media. That's DeeJaymad. And of course, the DJMad.com, which I'm going to be amping up very, very soon and putting up all the new updates. Make sure to check out the tracks on TrackSource, Beatport, iTunes, Juno, and whatever it is that you buy your stuff. Make sure to check for DJMad, DJMAD, Digital Wax LLC, which is the record label. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoy this video.
You think it's a game?
You're listening to the sound
Come on!
of DJ Mac.